Welcome to the 80-20 Baseball Podcast. Strike! The 80-20 Coaching Masterclass, our weekly get-together where coaches go from new to good and good to great. Mastering the fundamentals and the art of coaching.
Welcome, youth baseball community. Pumped up to be here. Our weekly episode coming out every Tuesday. I believe we are the longest running weekly baseball coaching podcast out there. Each week we're coming out with an episode so we can go from a new coach to a good coach as fast as possible, or from a coach with some experience already to a great coach as quickly and efficiently as possible. I'm blending my almost 40 years of baseball experience, professional, high-level college, high-level high school, and a lot of youth baseball experience, blending that together to optimize our coaching strategies. The first thing we do is always question everything that's been done, everything out there, and always say, is there a better way, or is there a way to take a proven method or strategy and optimize it to make some iterations, some changes to it, and improve upon it? There's a lot of good coaching out there. We can go above that, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to just settle on being a good coach. Not only do we want to be great coaches, we want to do it as efficiently as possible, and that's the 80-20 Baseball Podcast, and that's why we're here, and that's why 8020baseball.com is there for all of you to go check out. A bunch more resources there. Last night, I was at a board meeting for a local organization. It's a competitive branch of the local Little League here in Boise. It's kind of a hybrid. It's not a club, but it's essentially a way for the Little League players that want a little bit more competition. They want some more games, a few more tournaments to get that. Everything's done at cost, and really happy to be a part of that organization. I'm the coaching director. Got some great coaches, some great teams. In fact, each team this last year made it to the district championship for All-Stars, which was the first time any of the coaches and dads that had been around the league a long time could remember. And one of the coaches who had some of the best success, not just with the numbers up on the scoreboard, but at the end of the season, they did a thorough feedback survey, and the feedback was outstanding. And this one particular coach, got 100% positive feedback in almost every area. And we were talking after the meeting, and he attributes a lot of the success. One, he cares. He's involved. That's the biggest first step or steps, but also leveraging the information on this 80-20 Baseball Podcast, on the website, the coaching plan. And one of the things that really stood out was this coach said, hey, it was really hard not to try to coach everything, especially at the youth baseball level. And I think that's a tease for so many coaches at every level, but definitely the youth baseball level. Want to coach everything, want to coach every aspect. We want our players to be great at every aspect. We want our teams to be great at everything. And not all things are equal. And that's important. That's the 80-20 principle, of course. And so you have to allocate your practice time, your energy, your focus according to how much it moves the needle, how much each category, each thing moves the needle. And this coach has really bought into that and had a lot of success. So sitting in on those meetings is great to see that side of it, the macro picture for the local league. Also love getting feedback directly from all of you, things you're seeing in your league, your experiences. Love to hear from you. Email me, coachbo@8020baseball.com. Just share with me your journey, your experiences, your questions. I'm here. I love hearing from all of you. In today's episode, we have the top 5 coaching posts that I came across this past month, and they are great, informative, helpful. And they will help move the needle with all of us to be better coaches, to become great coaches as efficiently as possible. First, I want to talk about something that is imperative to go from a new coach to a good coach efficiently, or a good coach to a great coach efficiently. And that is the speed of iteration. The speed of iteration is very important. We know our players have different speeds that they can run at, they can throw at, they can turn a double play at. Players have different speeds. The speed that we can iterate and improve and optimize as coaches is one of the biggest factors in how good of a coach we can be, because time is finite. The years are going to go by in a blink. So being able to speed up our iteration, our improvement is so important. First, we need to look to improve each drill or each training activity that we're doing. We need to constantly be looking to improve it, not wholesale changes. Be careful making wholesale changes with drills. The constant seeking to iterate, to add a little improvement to every drill, every training activity at each practice. It makes it a lot of fun. It keeps us focused. It keeps us engaged. It gamifies practice for coaches. Like, how can we make this a little bit better? How can we tweak this a little bit? We should look to improve each drill, or let's say each training activity that we do. We should look to improve it in at least one way every single practice once it's been fully implemented. So at every practice, the throwing routine, the throwing progression, the dynamic warm up, each drill that you do, we should look to improve it in at least one way. Now, that improvement or that iteration may take place right then, or it may take place the next time you do it, the next practice, 2 weeks later, whenever you come back around to that training activity, that drill. Ideally, you do it right away if you feel like it can seamlessly be implemented, or at least somewhat seamlessly be implemented. So I challenge all of you to look to, even in a very small way, look to iterate every single drill, each of the drills, each of the training activities, each of the things you do in the next practice. Look for something to make it more efficient. Look for at least one way to get more quality reps. Look for one way to adjust the competitive level. Look for one way to gamify it, get more laughs, get more engagement. Look for at least one way to make it a little safer without messing the authenticity of the drill up too much. Look for one way to remove any unnecessary safety risk. A few weeks ago, when I was out at a practice implementing 3 different routines, brand new to the team, I was iterating as I went. These are things that I've had running like well-oiled machines for years. But even then, 2 different things popped up as I was doing it. I pivoted, added a few things, tweaked it a little bit, made it better. This keeps practice from being boring. Not only will this help speed up the improvement, the player development, it'll make practices more engaging, more fun for us as coaches. So I challenge you to look to improve everything you do in your next practice, each drill or each routine, each activity. I challenge you to try to at least iterate one thing, change one thing, improve one thing, adjust one thing to make it more efficient, more game-like, a little more challenging. There are so many things to work on. If you haven't got the drill design guide over at 8020baseball.com, get the drill design guide. It's free. It's about a 21-page PDF. As far as I know, it's the only thing out there on the internet that breaks down the drill design process, the 7 steps, the 7 ingredients that make elite drills. You can get that for free, 8020baseball.com. And so once you read that and you see drills like I do or training activities, it's almost impossible not to make improvements every few minutes or at least once a practice for each drill or training activity that we're doing. There's always little tweaks we can make, and those all add up to make huge improvements. If your drills in practice right now or this upcoming season look really similar to that same drill as they did 2 years ago, that's not a good sign. The bones of it might look similar, but it should look a lot better. And the only way to get there is to increase our speed of iteration. A bonus to focusing on improving the environment, the training environment, the drills, the activities, a bonus to focusing on that as the coach is that it keeps us from micromanaging our players, their technique, their mechanics. Micromanage the environment, not the players. Micromanage the design of your drills and training activities, not your players, not your kids. Don't micromanage the players, micromanage the environment. They're 2 different things. The environment is drill design. It's the design of the training environment. This is something that most coaches never buy into, never quite learn. So micromanage the environment, not the players. Let's micromanage the design of our drills, the flow of the drill, the efficiency of the drill. Let's not micromanage our players, our kids. All right, I think that's something that's so important. I would recommend going back and listening to that part a second time. It is pivotal in so many ways to improve our teams, our players, our kids when it comes to player development, team development, success, and the overall quality of our practices. All right. Now, as important as that was, I want to pivot. I want to keep it moving fast paced. That's what this podcast is all about. Efficiently getting you good information every week, not dragging in the weeds. By the way, I booked a great interview that'll be recorded in 2 weeks. A coach that's an author of 3 outstanding books. And this guy is really sharp when it comes to helping coaches build a great team culture, a winning team culture, and he has a strong expertise in helping coaches not just deal with parents successfully, but turn parents into allies versus opponents. So that's booked to be recorded in a couple weeks. And then I have another great guest, and I'll be recording an interview with him in October. So coming up soon. Excited. This coach works hand in hand with trying to leverage professional baseball and the resources professional baseball teams have with youth baseball and the youth baseball community. Someone who really has a great understanding of all the facets of youth baseball through and through and has a ton of wisdom to share with us. So I'm excited to bring him on, and hopefully those interviews are ready to go in October. And October may end up being interview heavy. We'll keep that pattern up. Solo episodes, shorter solo episodes combined with some extended interview episodes. Keep the wisdom flowing your way. All right, to our top 5 X posts of the month.
The top 5 coaching posts of the month.
Now, before we get into the top 5, I did see a post on X of a player, and I don't even know if this is real. It looks fake. I mean, it doesn't look AI generated, but it's so ridiculous that I just can't believe this took place. The quote, and this was from Fry Daddy / Frito, posted this. It's a video clip of a player stealing second base in reverse. So the player, the runner, is already at third and then steals second. So it goes backward. And that quote says, "This team is winning by 19 runs and decided to embarrass the other team by having the base runner who was on third go back and steal second." What is going on? What are we doing? This is a perfect example of why we talk about the things we talk about on this podcast. First off, this wouldn't happen in a game that I was coaching, because before the game starts, I would tell the other team, the other coach, when you're shaking hands and going over the rules with the umpire, I'd just real quickly say, "Hey, if you guys are up by a lot on us, just keep playing the game that you play. Keep playing your game. Don't change anything if you're up a lot, and we're not going to change how we play. We're going to play the game the right way all the way through." And there are multiple reasons why I believe we should get rid of this whole pity play thing. Pity play is what has happened over time in baseball when a team gets up a lot. Pity play. Shut everything down. They literally go overboard with trying to take it easy. I'll tell you what, it sounds good on the surface, but if you've been around baseball, you'll know exactly what I'm saying here. The only thing worse than getting your butt kicked is getting your butt kicked knowing the other team is taking it easy. I would rather lose by 100 runs than lose by 30 knowing the other team took it easy. Nothing is more demoralizing than when the other team starts to show pity and takes it easy on us. That's the worst thing, not the run differential. If you're playing a team that's really good, you know there might be a little bit of a lopsided score, be proactive. Tell that coach, "Hey, don't show us pity if you get up a lot." And this, of course, might not happen. You might win the game, but be proactive. Say, "Hey, if you get up a lot or we get up a lot, let's just play the game the right way. Let's just play hard. Let's not do the pity play thing." That's embarrassing for everybody involved. Nobody likes it. If we're up big or you're up big, let's just play. Play the game hard, play the game right, let the chips fall where they fall. Are we really getting our kids ready to be adults? Having this pity play go on is not preparing them for real life. Because often in life doesn't start showing us pity and slowing down and taking it easy on us. We got to strengthen up our kids and tell them, "Hey, the other team's going to play hard. They're going to try to score as many runs as they can, and we're going to try to score as many runs as we can. And we're going to have fun while we're doing it. We're going to be good sports, good teammates, show good sportsmanship, respect the umpires, respect the game, and however the scoreboard shakes out, it shakes out." And better yet, you talk to the league, you talk to the tournament directors, you put a squash to it early, proactively. Like if the league had a simple rule, like if you show unsportsmanlike conduct like this, if you show up the other team this blatantly, you forfeit the game and the other team wins. So the team that's losing by 19 runs actually wins the game. That'll shut it down real quick. Now, for 5 positive posts, that was more of a kind of a negative look, but I had to bring it up. Man, it was bad. Now, the top 5 coaching posts of the month. This first one is by @Pace. They posted a quote by the late, great Mike Leach, college football coach. Many of you know who he is. And Coach Leach's quote says, "The fewer things you do, the better you get at them. We, as a team, try to do a few things a whole bunch of times and be really good at them." Yeah, you don't need 14 first and third defenses. You don't need 6 bunt plays. Fewer things, be really good at them, execute them, less is more. The next post is by MLB Network, and it was a quote from Paul Skeens talking about his development as a player and his late development as a player. So this is for all of you that have or know players that are struggling now or maybe physically behind other players. Just remind them that Paul Skeens remembers a 13-year-old game where he says, quote, "I showed up and I was hitting 13th. There was a player on the Royals recently that was on MLB Network. I'm drawing a blank. It wasn't Bobby Witt Jr. Anyways, he talked about how he was the last hitter on his youth baseball team, his little league team. He batted last, and he's a middle of the lineup hitter for a major league team. All right, ex-coaching post of the month, number 3. This is by @Jim Shapiro. He said, I am self-reporting. This is my biggest pet peeve. Athletes standing in line waiting for their rep in a drill. And has a picture, which I'm guessing is his team because he says he's self-reporting, of a bunch of players standing in line waiting for the next sled drill. The next sled drill, for those of you that have coached football, played football, looks like there's 2 sleds being hit at once, and the line is about 15 deep. We go back to speed of iteration. Right there alone, that could take you a month of just iterating to get your lines for your drills shorter and getting more quality reps in. That right there can take a month in and of itself to go through all your drills and go, how can we speed this up? How can we get more quality game-like reps for each player faster, more efficiently, without incurring any extra unnecessary safety risks? So yeah, Coach Shapiro said, this is my biggest pet peeve. I like how he said, I'm self-reporting, taking a picture of his own practice. He is my biggest pet peeve. Athletes standing in line, waiting for their rep in a drill. All right, coaching post of the month, number 4 that I came across this past month. This one is from @Coaching Advice. This is a Nick Saban quote that they posted. Quote, we're not going to talk about what we're going to accomplish. We're going to talk about how we're going to do it. End quote. Nick Saban. It's a great post. Goes back to like setting goals. The goal shouldn't just stop at what you're going to accomplish, but the goal should be the day in and day out process that you're going to accomplish. So micro goals to get to that macro goal. So Nick Saban said, we're not going to talk about what we're going to accomplish. We're going to talk about how we're going to do it. You don't hear Coach Nick Saban talking much about that. And coaching post number 5. This is from somebody outside of baseball, but if you remember back many moons ago, one of the first episodes, I gave some book recommendations out. We had Jocko Willink's book. That's number 2 on the list. Number 1 on the list of the recommended reads is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Now, Eckhart Tolle is one of the smartest people when it comes to understanding life, the mind, thoughts, presence, consciousness, being in the moment, all the stuff you hear about in the mental game world, sports mental game, being in the flow, being in the zone. This guy, Eckhart Tolle, has as good understanding of all that as anybody. And The Power Now, it's the biggest game-changing book. It's so good, though. It's so eye-opening that you have to read it or listen to the audio version at least 2 or 3 times to really get a decent grasp of how it looks in your life and how it can just change everything in your life. It literally will change every second of your life. And Eckhart Tolle said in this or on this post that he put out on X, quote, realize deeply that the present moment is all that you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. End quote. So he's encouraging us to realize deeply that the present moment is all we ever have. The future, nobody has the future and nobody has the past. The future is not here, of course, and the past is over. It's done. In fact, 5 minutes from now isn't here yet. The only thing we have in life, the only thing we really truly have when we're thinking about time is right now, is this moment. And so if you want to be more present, be more relaxed, and you just want that mental game to just go through the roof, dive into Eckhart Tolle, Tolle, and he's got great videos on YouTube. It's a game changer in life because you can infuse it. It's like the self-help that you can infuse every second of the day. It's game-changing stuff that I started studying about 20 years ago when I first got into Phil Jackson, the Zen master. And Zen, of course, is very much on that avenue that Eckhart Tolle dives into and understands is really, I think, the foremost expert on it out there. So highly recommend you dive into that. So those were the top 5 coaching posts of the month. Some different, unique wisdom for all of us to take out there to our next practice, to add to our paradigm so we can go from new coaches to good coaches or from good coaches to great coaches as efficiently and as quickly as possible. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Next week, we're going to discuss 4 things that as coaches, we do not want to do when it comes to dealing with the parents of our players. We're going to talk about 4 specific things not to do when it comes to dealing with parents of the players that we're coaching. All right, until next week, hope you all take care. Great being here with all of you. If you wouldn't mind, it's really helpful if you can leave a quick review for the podcast on your podcast app, a rating that really helps out. Would be greatly appreciated. You know, I don't run ads and things on this podcast. I've turned down multiple sponsors. I want it to be fast-paced and efficient, every minute valuable. One way to help keep that moving along is to give it a rating or a positive review. That would be greatly appreciated. So if you could go do that right after this, that would be wonderful. And until next week, let's keep taking care of our health so we can be at our best for our families, our close friends, our team, our players. Let's take this information that we've learned here in this episode and let's go put it into play. All right, y'all. Take care. Until next week, adios.
This has been the 80-20 Baseball Podcast, the 80-20 Baseball Masterclass. We got this. Now, let's take the field.